nothing quite like sewing up the outfit of your favorite character, or building armor or weapons from your favorite video game. But at some point, you'll encounter a project that requires some type of gem. Whether you're recreating Starfire, Raven, Princess Peach, or like my current project, Marth, you'll eventually run into a costume that requires gems. You can always opt to buy plastic gems, but sometimes you just can't find them in the right size, shape, or color. In cases like this, you can always cast your own out of resin. If you've never casted resin before, don't worry. It's way easier than it looks. Since I need a couple gems for my Marth cosplay, I'll let you follow along as I make mine. First off, you'll need a couple things. You need to protect your work surface. I just covered my work area in plastic wrap because I can make a mess, peel it off the table, and throw it away. I have a silicone mold. I have a 2-part resin kit. I was using Amazing Cast, but when I went to the craft store to get more, all they had was 2-part floral resin to make that fake water and floral arrangements. It looks like the same material, but we'll find out. I have a couple disposable cups for mixing. It's helpful if your cups have markings on them to determine how full they are. Disposable sticks for stirring your resin. I'm using popsicle sticks. Don't worry, I made sure to use this as an excuse to eat lots of popsicles.
Now that we have our materials, we can get started. Many craft resins require equal parts of the resin and the hardener. Yours may need a different proportion, so be sure to check the instructions. I'll mark the amount I need to pour on 2 of my cups. It's important that you have as accurate a proportion as possible. That's why I always mix more resin than I need. With a larger proportion, there's a slightly larger room for error. It has to do with relative proportions and requires some discussion of math, but it's not something you need to worry yourself about. Measure the 2 mixtures separately, then add them to the 3rd cup. My instructions say mix thoroughly for 6 minutes, but I think I stirred a little longer. Remember to stir slowly if you're trying to reduce the amount of bubbles in your final casts. Now these gems need to be red, and there are several ways to color your resin. I typically add a little acrylic paint because I always forget to buy coloring agents until after I've started working. You can also wait until after your resin is cured and use nail polish to paint the back of your gem. This will actually give you more control over the final color. You can also place a variety of objects such as lighting gels, stickers, or glitter into the resin after it's become tacky. The key word is tacky. If you add anything to the resin while it's still liquid, it will all sink to the bottom. Now that everything is thoroughly mixed, I'll pour it into my mold. Be careful not to fill the molds all the way up, or you may spill resin from one mold into another, or worse, onto your workspace. With all the resin poured, cover your mold so dust, or in my house, cat hair, doesn't fall into it. Now set it somewhere it won't get bothered. The instructions for my resin suggest waiting 24 hours, but I waited 48 hours just to be safe. And look at that, the resin popped right out of my silicone molds. I recommend you make a few extras like I did just in case a few don't turn out right. I like to super glue small craft mirrors onto the back of these to really make them super bright, but since these ones aren't very transparent, they don't require it. Although these red gems came out of the mold shiny, hard resin pieces can be sanded smooth and then polished for a glossy finish. And there you have it. Casting resin is super easy, and it affords you more control over your creations since you won't have to be at the mercy of what's in a store. Give it a try, and I think you'll be surprised at the things you can make. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And if you want to see more videos like this, remember to subscribe.